Day 36 of culinary school, our first day touching seafood. I loved the previous course with steaks and beef and veal, but moving on to seafood, I love seafood just as much. And then, really just looking forward to everything that we're going to do because I think we have desserts after this. I'm looking forward to that. I think we have international cuisine after that. And obviously, I love that as well. So, I'm just looking forward to everything that we're going to do and learn and cook and taste and touch. It's exciting. But yeah, like I said, today was our first day of seafood and it was so much fun. I love seafood, like I said, but today we got to do a little bit of lobster bisque, got to touch and taste lobster. I've had lobster before, so I'm no stranger to lobster. Touch, taste, cook shrimp, and really talking about the shrimp doneness. So did that for a little bit, and then also made a shrimp scampi out of that. We also seared off a nice, beautiful scallops, or as I like to call it, scallops. I'm trying to make it happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Scallops. Anyway, so this is how our lobster bisque turned out. In here, mirepoix, tomato paste, cook that down. We have some fish stock, some aromatics, and of course, the lobster shells themselves. Then through also it's worth noting that the thickening agent for this is rice. So we threw in some rice in there, allow it to cook and soften. Once that softened, we threw it into a blender, pureed it, and then threw it into a sieve. It's quite a heavy process, and it's something that you just kind of sort of let simmer for half the class until you're ready to blend. So pretty fun, very flavorful. This came out tasting more like lobster. It's really just extracting the flavors of lobster. And then after we threw this down through the chinois or the sieve, we cooked this. It just reheated it a little bit, added a little bit of cream, seasoned it with a little bit of cayenne, some paprika, salt, and white pepper. Season that, and then it was delicious. I really like lobster bisque. I think if you're trying to be fancy and you wanted to replace a tomato soup with a lobster bisque and mac and cheese, absolutely super rich, super decadent and delicious. But yeah, that's how it came out. I think I have a picture of my plating. Yes. So this is the lobster bisque. I was also fortunate enough to actually have my own lobster tail that I sort of poached in butter. And this is just sort of, I also just kind of plated it with a little bit of cream, some parsley, and then the lobster in the middle. Pretty self-explanatory, but delicious. It came out a little bit darker than it should be because of all the cayenne and paprika that I added, that me and my partner added, I should say. But it came out really delicious, and I brought it home for Yvonne. If we don't finish it, we get to freeze it and then enjoy it at a different time. So really happy with it. Also, I get to take home a whole lobster tail on a Tuesday. So that's quite extravagant. I've been taking home some really extravagant dishes, like 50 pounds worth of tenderloin, and $50 worth of tenderloin and steaks and whatnot. So really fortunate to be in the position where I'm getting to cook this and then taking it home to Yvonne for us to eat together and enjoy together. But I usually like to bring home all the food that I make and we sit down and have it for lunch or have it for dinner so that it doesn't go to waste. We try to eat it as much as we can. So that was how the lobster bisque turned out. And now for the risotto, the shrimp scampi, and the seared scallops. The seared scallops, real quick, we looked for a really nice sear on the top, on the presentation side. It wasn't my first time handling scallops, fortunately. So the key to this is just a really dry scallop. You can see some liquid here. And that's really from the scallop. It was frozen before this, so we try to thaw it out as much as we could before we put it in the pan. But a key to a really good seared scallop is dry scallops. So did that, seasoned it before putting it in the pan with oil and butter. Let that sit until it browns, ideally on both sides. So you want it to be crusted on both sides. I had a stage in my life where every time I ate out to a fancy restaurant or a fancy-ish restaurant, we're talking like in my like, to me, a fancy restaurant is like $20 and above per plate. Every time I ate out at a quote unquote fancy restaurant, I'd order the scallops. There was a good like 6 months in my life where I just ordered scallops because I was so obsessed with them. And I'm obsessed with a seared scallop. I love the flavor of it, and I love how it's crispy and crusty on the top, but then when you slice into it, it's buttery smooth. So it's a delicious thing if you can have it. And then we did a quick shrimp scampi. I did this on very low heat. I was really afraid to overcook the shrimp because shrimp, if you've ever cooked it, is super delicate. So you don't want to overcook this because there's a very fine line between just cooking it and then overcooking it. Very fine line. So you have to be very careful. I did this. I was also cooking it with a shrimp scampi, so garlic, butter, citrus, red chili flakes. I'm really pleased with the results. Chef was pleased with the doneness of the shrimp. And he commented on using the Parmesan as a garnish. That should be more of like mixed in. I did mix in some Parmesan in there. But he'd like it to be more mixed in and not used as a garnish. Reason being, if someone's gonna like take a spoon of that, all they're getting is that salty umami-ness of the Parmesan. Really happy with the doneness of my risotto. Like I said, much better, bigger improvement from the last time I did my risotto. And yeah, overall, very happy, very pleased with the quality that I put forth today. Yeah, really exciting moving forward. More seafood, more seafood. So I can't be more excited. And with that, I will talk to you guys tomorrow for day 37 of culinary school, fast approaching day 40. I don't know what the significance of day 40. It's just a nice even number, but exciting nonetheless. Seafood. And after that, desserts, and after that, international food. So really a lot to look forward to for culinary school. Lots to learn, lots to fail at. And yeah, let's keep going.